This conference will now be recorded.
So in the last class, we have just seen the full stack course demo class. So the course what we are going to learn here is full stack Java. Now, what is this full stack Java is? We should able to manage all the things here. You should able to manage the front end part. You should able to manage the backend part. You should able to manage the database also. So front end means the content whatever we display on the browser. Okay. Then we develop this front end by using this HTML, CSS, JavaScript, Bootstrap, or Angular or React here. And the backend part we can develop by using Java technology, .NET technology, Python using Django, PHP like this. Okay, this is our backend. And in the case of ours Java, we are going to go as a full stack Java. We will be learning this main concept like Spring Hibernate like that. We use those technologies to develop the backend. And the next one, database. So this database in our course we will be using MySQL. Now the contents whatever we discuss in this core Java is like we go with initially core Java, and we can even call it as Java SE, means standard edition. The main use of going with standard edition is used to develop and alone or desktop applications. Use it to develop what standalone or desktop applications. Like example like calculator, paint, MS Word, Excel, all these are desktop applications. Once we install on our system, we need not connect to other system to run the application. They are independent. The next one we go with database concepts or SQL concepts using MySQL. In our course, we'll be learning MySQL database. We go with advanced Java. Even we call it as Java EE, stands for Enterprise Edition. The main use is used to develop web applications. It's for web applications. The next one is very important one, frameworks. In our course, we'll be learning the frameworks like Hibernate framework. Before this only, we'll go with the web technologies, or even you can call it as UI design or front-end design. Here we'll be learning the technologies like HTML, CSS, JavaScript, XML, JSON, type Bootstrap, TypeScript, and Angular. In this Java E, we'll be going with the topics like servlets, JSP. JSP means Java server pages. And coming to frameworks, very important one, Hibernate framework and Spring framework. In Spring framework, it goes with the modules like Spring Core, Spring Core or Bean module, DAO module, very important module. Under this, we go with three submodules like Spring jdbc, Spring ORM, where we integrate with Hibernate, Spring Data JPA, like this. The next very important module is under Spring MVC module. This is mainly for developing web applications. Then Spring Boot module, Spring REST module to develop the REST APIs. Even we will be learning microservices using Spring Boot. And during our course, we go with some of the important real-time tools like Maven, JUnit, Lombok, Postman, GitHub Rex. And finally, we go with a project using Spring Boot and Angular. The front end part we do by using Angular, and the backend is with Spring Boot. The duration of our course goes with approximately 55 to 60 hours. You can consider 2.5 months to 3 months, maximum 3 months. Before 3 months only we'll be completing. And the time of our class is Monday to Friday. Monday to Friday at 7 a.m. IST, 7 a.m. IST, and the class will go for 1 hour approx, maximum 1 hour. So the class will get completed before 1 hour only. And the people for US or Canada candidates, it is Sunday to Thursday. Sunday to Thursday, evening timing. Please check your time zone. It will be evening time. So the GoToMeeting link, what you are having, it's permanent link. Till the end of the course, you can use that same link. And the class is getting recorded. The recordings will be shared to you after the class. Right? So any questions, anyone up to here? Right. No. So before we enter into any programming language, yeah, any questions, Sindhu?
Yeah, Raj. You were mentioning two time slots, right? Monday to Friday, and then for US and Canada, Sunday to Thursday. So
This is, yeah.
now,
You are
which
in which
one is
location?
on? I'm in
Yeah, which
US.
one is? Yeah, this will be for you Sunday to Thursday evening time. Whatever the time you joined, no, that timing.
Okay, so same 9:30 p.m. EST, but it will be Sunday to
Right,
Thursday.
right. That's it.
Okay, got it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, before we enter into any programming language like C or C++ or Java or .NET or Python, every programmer should have a basic idea on programming concepts. So the objective of today's class is we will be learning about programming concepts so that from the next class we can enter into Java programming. So let us complete today programming concepts. So what we are going to write the program? We are going to write what here? Programs. So what is a program? How will you define a program? Anyone? It is what? Set of
Automation of
instructions,
a,
right?
yeah. Yeah.
Set of instructions given to the computer to perform a task. That set of instructions only we call it as program. We can define like a program is a set of instructions given to a computer to perform a task. What is a program? It is a set of instructions given to a computer to perform a task. So what is this task? Like to find area of a rectangle, to find total marks of a student, to book a movie ticket, to book a flight ticket, to add a book into the library, to deposit money in the bank, right? To check the balance, transfer funds, right? To add a product into the cart. These all things we call them as tasks. To perform that, we write the programs. Then, so when you're writing the program, in that program, we'll be using some of the concepts like the first one, like comments. When you are writing the program, we should able to elaborate our program in our own words so that even if ourselves sees the program in future or someone sees our program, they should able to understand that. That we call it as documenting a program. So in order to document the program, we make use of comments. So you can say comments are used to document a program. Comments are used to document a program and ignored by the programming language. So programming language will not see what you are writing inside the comments. We can write in our own words. Like example, you can say slash slash, or we are having types of comments. Like we are having two types, single line comment and multi-line comment. Like example, if we say slash of a rectangle. So this is single line comment. So single line comment means we go with what symbol? Slash slash. Multi-line comment means slash star and end with again star slash. Like example for multi-line slash slash to transfer funds from one account to another account, like this. So multi-line comment. So whatever we are writing here, it is ignored by the programming language. We can write in our own words, mainly to elaborate our program, which we call documentation. The next important term here is keyword. The meaning of keyword is like, whenever you take any programming language, there will be some words which are understood by the language directly. Those words only we call keywords. What are keywords? Keywords are predefined words or reserved words whose meaning is known to the language directly. Language will understand these words automatically. Some of the examples like class is a keyword, static is a keyword, void is a keyword, if, else, switch, while, do, for, try, catch, like this. Okay. So when we enter into Java, we will be learning keywords related to Java technology. So these words are understood by the language directly. The next definition is variable. This is very, very important as a beginner. Whenever we want to hold some data, we require some memory space to hold the data. Like example, we want to store something like roll number. So we require some memory space to hold this data. We want to store something like employee name. So we require some memory space to hold the data. We want to allocate some memory space for salary. So we require some memory space to hold the salary. So the names what you are giving to this memory space to hold the data, that name only we call it is what? These names only we call them as variables. So variables are mainly what? To hold the data, to store the data. So how to define a variable is like, a variable is an identifier which allocates some memory space to hold the data. Some of the examples of variables like roll number, student name, employee's salary, customer address. When we enter into Java, we'll be learning more of all these terminologies once again in depth. Now, the next definition is very, very important one, data type. Data. Once we allocate memory space for variable, like example, if you are allocating memory space for variable like age, like what? Age. Then in age, what type of data we store? A numeric value. We are going to store a numeric value without any decimal point. So a numeric value without any decimal point, we call it as integer. We call what? Integer. If you are allocating some memory space for name, if you are allocating some memory space for name, for example, something like Ramu, then collection of characters, we call it as what? String. Collection of alphabets, we call string. If you are allocating some memory space for like height. So when you go with height, we generally store a numeric value with decimal point, like 5.6, 6.2, like this. A numeric value with a decimal point, we call it as float. Call what? Float. So the type of data the variable is holding, this only we call data type. So how to define is, you can say type of data the variable holds is called as data type, right? So the examples of data type like int, char, float, string, like this. Examples of integers. When we say integer, what are integers? The examples of integers like 25, 87, 3456, minus 75, 0, 34, like this. So positives and negatives. Examples of characters are like any single symbol enclosed in single quotes. A single symbol enclosed in single quotes. It can be any symbol. Only one symbol should be there, which are enclosed in single quotes are characters. Examples of float are like a numeric value with a decimal point, like 3.14, 25, 35.5, minus 98.42, like this. Positive side, negatives. A value with a decimal point are floats. Examples of strings are collection of characters enclosed within double quotes. Enclosed within double quotes. Like this. Which are enclosed in double quotes are what? Strings type. Clear all of you? What is the meaning of data type? Right? Now, the next one is very important one. Declaration of variable. Declaration of variable. This is very important. Whenever we want to store some data into the variable, we have to allocate some memory space for the variable. Without allocating memory space, we cannot store the data. So in order to allocate memory space for variable, we need to declare it. What's the need of declaration? In order to allocate memory space for variable, we need to declare the variable. We need to declare what? The variable. The syntax of declaring variable is syntax means rules of the language. Rules of the programming language. The syntax is like grammatical rules. The syntax is we have to provide the data type, space, variable list. We like variable 1, variable 2, comma like that, variable n. And every statement in most of the programming languages like C, C++, Java, .NET, we end with semicolon. The statements are ended with semicolon. Like example, you can say int a comma b, character C, float f, like this. So when you declare the variable like this, it's going to allocate memory space for a variable. It's going to allocate memory space for b variable. It's going to allocate memory space for c variable. It's going to allocate memory space for f variable so that we can store the data into this memory space. So this concept is very important. So before using any variable, we have to declare it. The next and very important one to enter into Java technology is method or function. This is very important. How can you define a method? It's like a method is a subprogram, a part of the program which is used to do a specific task. Which is for what purpose? To do a specific task. Now, like example, we want to find area of a rectangle. We want to find area of a rectangle. Then we define a method like this: area rect parenthesis. Then open and close curly braces. This is how the method looks. Some name based on the task, then parenthesis, then open and close curly brace, meaning the method starts here and ends here. Now, in order to find the area of a rectangle, what data do we require? What data do we require? Very good. We require length. Right. Very good. So here we have to take that values here, length comma breadth. In order to allocate memory for these variables, we have to declare it. How to declare? We have to mention the data type before the variable. Before the variable, mention the data type. This length and breadth, we call them as arguments. Length and breadth are called as arguments or parameters. We call them as arguments or parameters. Now, in order to find the area of a rectangle, what is the formula? Area equal to length into breadth. Area equal to what? Length into breadth. So here I'm using a variable area, so we have to declare it. So whenever we use any variable, we have to declare it. So this code, whatever you are writing, this we call it as defining the method. Defining the method. Now let us call it. Calling the method. How to call? Like this. Area rect, and we pass 10, 5. So when you end with semicolon, we are calling. When you go with open and close curly brace, we are defining. Now when you call the method area rect 10, 5, 10 will come and store into this length variable. Then 5 will come and store into this breadth variable. Then what is the value of area now? What is the value of area? What's the value of area here? 50, right? What is the value of area now? 50. 10 into 5, 50. This result, this area value, I want to give back to this method. So whenever you call a method, whatever the result you are getting from method, that I want to give it back to this method. Then how to give the result back to the method is by using a keyword return. By using what keyword? Return area. So this area value 50 will come and store into this method. Then I can store it into some other variable. Then I can print it. So if you print area, what value it's going to print for us again? 50. This we are defining, this we are calling. Now, what are the value you are returning over here? What are the value we are returning here? This area is what data type? What is the data type of this area variable? Repeat.
Int.
Integer, right? It is what data type? Integer. So before the method name, we have to mention the data type of the variable. So mentioning the data type before the method name, the return type. So this data type, that we call it as the concept return type. We call it as what? Return type. So what is the return type of this method now? What is the return type of this method? We have to say integer. What is the return type? Integer. Okay. So the return type of area rect method is integer. Not integer. If you take the same method, here I don't want to return the value of area. I want to print over here only. I want to print over here. Okay. So when you want to print that value, you are not returning any value outside of the method, then we use what? Void. Use what keyword? Void. So if you are not returning any value, we use void. So void means no return type. Void means what? No return type. So one more example, like if you take a print message, we take a string message, we just only print that operation. We are going to do only print operation. Print the message. Then what is the return type here? We have to say void here. We are not giving that value outside of your method. So we are doing the job only inside the method. If the method is not using return keyword, inside the method, if you are not using return keyword, what we have to use here? Void. Clear all of you? The meaning of method, return type concept, mainly return type concept here. So before we enter into Java, we should know how method looks, what is return type. Don't worry how to write the code inside the method. We'll be learning all those things. Only understand we are having the concept of the meaning of concept of variables, comments, keywords, what is data type, how to declare, and how to write a method. Not how to write a method, how the method looks, what is return type. If you are having idea on these topics, just a basic idea on these topics, entering into any programming language will be very, very easy for us. Clear, all of you?
Yes.
Yes.
Right? Like one more example, if you consider, calculate total. Calculate total, I'm taking here float, mark 1, float, mark 2, float, mark 3. I want to find the total marks of all these 3 marks. Then what we do? What is the formula? Total equal to mark 1 plus mark 2 plus mark 3. Okay. We should give this total outside. So return total. Return total. Then here we are declaring total as what here? Float total. Float total. Then what is the return type of this total variable? What is the return type? Float. So before the method name, what I should write here? Float. Okay. So this we call defining the method. Defining the method. Now how to call? We'll say calculate total. We'll say here float total equal to calculate total. We'll pass here 50, 60, 70. 50, 60, 70. So what is the total now? 180, right? 50.0, 0 and 70.0. If you print total here, what's the value we get? 180, right? We get 180. So this 50.0 will go to mark 1, 60.0 will go to mark 2, 70.0 will go to mark 3, and it finds the total. And when you say return, this result, that total value what you are having 180, that will come and store into this method. I'm storing that value into total variable and printing here. So what is the return type of this method means? What you should say? Float here. So after return keyword, whatever the variable you are using, see the data type of that variable and write it before the method. So that concept only we call return type. Okay, that concept only we call return type. So the return type of calculate total method is float. Is return type float here. So this return type concept is very, very important in order to enter into Java, right? So what terms we have seen? Like the meaning of comments, keywords, variables, data types, how to declare the variable, then the meaning of method and function, and the concept of return type. Concept of what? Return type, right? So that's about for today. Any questions, anyone? Right? So remember, next class will be on Monday, that is 15th of April, 7 a.m. IST. 7 a.m. IST. For the people who are in US or Canada, it is Sunday evening. It is Sunday evening. Please use same GoToMeeting link to join the classes. So in the next class, we'll be starting off with the Java introduction, and even we'll see what are the features present in Java. Okay, right.
Is this